Hello and welcome to my garage. We've got a BMW based video for you today when I'll be showing you how to remove these decorative trims from the doors. They're held on with little star washers and we'll be going through how to remove those safely. What I'm also going to cover in the video is what to do if the sort of supports for the washers get broken. This is a trim set I bought from eBay which I'm going to be swapping over. This is the diamond black trim. I'm going to use this to replace the sort of walnut, the dark wood poplar trim that's on the car already. Not that I particularly dislike the wood, I just think that the diamond black suits the car that little bit better. But what you will be able to see is that some of the mountings here are damaged, and I've got a method of fixing these on just by sort of using a very small self-tapping screw to hold that onto the car. When we remove the front door panel, we will need to disconnect the side airbag, so it is always worth disconnecting the battery first. To start off with, I'm going to have to remove the complete door trim from the vehicle. I'm not going to go into this in too much detail because there's plenty of videos online already. So to start off with, let's look at this is the passenger side door, UK passenger side door. We've got two little covers to remove. One is this black cover that's on the door here. The other is this SRS cover here. Behind the SRS cover is a Torx 25 screw. Behind the little cover here we're going to be using a Phillips 2 screwdriver to remove that. So let's get started. We'll get both these covers off and those screws off. With both the screws removed, we can then use this wide trim tool to start opening up the door. And once we've got most of these sort of trim clips off, you'll see the door is getting a little bit flexible. We then pull it out from the top. Don't lift it, you want to pull it out directly away from the door. You've got the little lock part at the top here, that just needs lifting over, and then we'll have a look at the wires behind. We'll now unplug the wires on the door. We've got this one which is for the puddle lights, another one here for the sort of the window part, and finally the one here for the airbag. As you know already, we've disconnected the battery, so there's no danger at all. And with that off, we've then got the final, and we've got the little cable here for the lock. That just unlatches, and that whole panel can then come away. And finally, we've just got this little plastic clip to remove. It just slides off. Then we can slide this back into the panel. It goes in with the sort of the V shape pointing out, and then the square bit on the inside. That just slide back in there. I've got a table here with just a bit of card on top. We don't want to obviously damage the door when we're working on it, so either a bit of card or a sort of bit of carpet or something, just to protect the door trim whilst we're working on it. So here is our panel removed from the car, and you can see these are the parts we've got to get off. These are the little sort of I think there's a sort of a star-shaped washer. Obviously, if you just pull these up, you've got a good chance of breaking the plastic part there. So I like to get this really nice little, it's like a little slim hook tool, very cheap. I've got a sort of couple, so one with a right angle head, and then one with a slightly different, or slightly less of a curve on it. And what I like to do is get the sort of hook part, get it behind one of the tabs, and you want to sort of pull it up away from the plastic part. You don't want to leave it against the other tab is the thing. And you can see that's just lifted up, and I'm just going to go around, just sort of pull up 3 or 4. That's usually enough to sort of then get this sort of the star-shaped washer off and away. So let me pull those back. Let's see, that does feel like it should be nearly free now. There we go. So that's just popped off. So I'll just show you again on this one. It's just a case of lifting up the sort of the ears of the washer. I'll just try and work around it. There we go. So that does feel like it's starting to lift up now. So we're nearly free. There we go. So that's the second one off there. And you'll find if you have bent these up a bit, you can just give this a tap with a hammer, and that'll just reset the washer for you. I'm going to work my way along the door now and get the final three washers removed. So that's all of the little clips now removed, and that panel lifted up that way. And this will now just lift off. Lift off like so. Now it's important to just make a very quick note here. You'll see on this side that there's a sort of just a hole there rather than a tablet shaped hole. So when I put the new panel on, I'm going to line it up with that end first of all. Here was our replacement trim piece. Unfortunately on this you can see we've got absolutely no plastic clips whatsoever. So I'll sort of, what I'm going to have to do is sit it in place, and then I'll try and get a little screw started on the first hole. So what I'll be using is just a small little ones here. It's an 8x1/2 inch. It's a regular self-tapping one, sort of quite a wide shank. Then I've got an M3x25 washer. So quite a nice wide face washer there. And what I'll do, I just want to try and get one hole started. So if I can just see if I can get a screw into this one, which kind of sets the panel up, because it's the only one that isn't sort of tableted. So let me just see if we can get that started if we can. So that has I'm not going to do that tight. I just want to get that started, and then at this stage I'm just going to get another screw started. This is kind of in the middle, just to sort of make sure everything stays in place. So let me just see if I can get that to go in. And at this stage we just want to get these just started in the holes. You don't want to start pulling these up tight, because if you go too much straight away you do run a chance of going through and damaging the panel on the other side. So just a little bit to get started, and we can have a look as we go along. Now with those two screws in, it's just worth checking the other side of the panel just to see if we're in the right place. So it looks like we're pretty good. I think it'd be nice to try and get this this end one in next, and then we'll be set for the rest of it. So I'll get this screw on the end in next. Just until it sort of starts to pinch. You can sort of have a look inside and see how much gap we've got there. I'm going to just use one of these. This is one of the little rubber, or sort of foam rubber washers that came off the other trim. So I'll just pop that on just to give myself a little bit of thickness there, because I can see that the panel isn't, that the hole isn't all that thick. I certainly don't want to go too tight and then bring it through. Then a final one just in here. That looks like a decent sized hole. That's fine. I'll just go quick check on this middle one. I can't remember how deep that was. I'll put a bit of foam on that one too, just to cushion it slightly. There we go, so that's all five in place. Now let's just have a quick look at the other side of the door, and that has all lined up pretty well. I'm going to just sort of give this a nice clean up now. It's a nice opportunity when the door panels off the car to sort of have a look and give it a really nice clean down. So let me do that next. It's a nice opportunity just to go around all the parts you often miss when you clean the car. Then refitting back the car is very much a sort of the reverse procedure of how we took it off. We'll put the connections in first of all, so we'll do the light, the airbag, the speaker, and the door handle. Then we've just got to sort of line up this top edge, make sure that the locks, pull up the part for the lock is engaged properly. Then this all sort of pushes back in, and then to finish up we just got to put the two screws back in, the Torx 25, and then the little Phillips in the corner there, and then the covers go back on. In my car there's no airbag in the rear doors, so we can leave the battery connected when working on those. The rear door panel procedure is much the same as the fronts. We've got 2 Phillips screws this time under the covers. So get both of these out. So we use this nice wide trim tool again to start prising the door trim off. Work all the way around it, just the same as we did on the front door. We put it away at the top rather than trying to lift it up. So that's all come away now. We haven't got the airbag to worry about on this side. We've just got the door lock and then the cable there that runs to the window controls. Got both of those out, and then we'll just remember to pop up that little plastic clip and put it back into the panel. Here is the inside of the rear door card. We use exactly the same technique again to pop all these star washers off, just the sort of hook tool as we did on the fronts. On this panel, this is the rear one. You can see that I've put a few screws in to get started, and on this one of the plastic pins has remained. So I'm just going to show you how to fit these star washers back on if you want to use them again. I've just got a 12mm socket in a sort of a screwdriver, and all you need to do is just push that down like so, and then they're set up. That's the only one I've got that's survived. This is the set I bought from eBay, so I'll have to go through and just put the screws in the rest of this one. It's just the same as we did in the front panel. We're just going to put them in gently, check our alignment, and then we can look at screwing them down fully. And here's our finished door trim. We'll just go back in the car. You can see we've got the diamond black panel at the top there. We're going to give it another quick clean as we did with the front one, and then we'll put it back in the car. Now, the fitting procedure is pretty much the same as the front. So again, not covering this in too much detail. We'll get the lock and the cable clipped in first. We'll push in the button part for the top of the lock, then just push the whole door assembly home, give it a good tap down, and then we've just got the 2 screws to hold it back in, and then the 2 screw covers. There we go. So I'm very pleased with the new look of these diamond black trims. I could always give them just a little bit of a polish up. I've noticed there's just a few very light scuffs on them, which isn't surprising really from a second-hand part. But I think overall I'm really pleased, and I think they make the car look just that little bit more modern. In terms of the original trims, I'll be certainly keeping these. You can see that these all came off very successfully with no damage on the plastic pins at all. So if I ever do decide to sell the car or revert back, I'll keep these handy for that occasion. I think my next video is probably going to be an MGB one. We've got quite a few jobs to do before the race season starts. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different to the usual, but as always, don't forget to get in touch with any questions, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Many thanks. Bye.